Hello, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. We are back continuing our campaign playthrough of A Time to Harvest. And if you'd like to get your own copy of the PDF, you can head to chaosium.com. All of the videos that we produce then go over to the Chaosium YouTube channel, where they live in perpetuity. And if you want to join us live, we do stream each week at 5 p.m. Pacific. Where we pick back up, all of our investigators are gathered out in the woods making a meeting with the deputy. We'll come back to Art to introduce last, so you can have an opportunity to decide exactly where you are placed. So as night falls and thick clouds gather overhead, you are standing under dark and ancient trees. Katie and Chaz are at the front meeting with the deputy, and elsewhere Joe is hidden, not too far from the soldiers that they have stationed there. Can I get each of you to please introduce your investigators? And we'll begin with Jackson.
Hey, I'm Jackson. And Dave, you said we could mention something else.
We could. Sorry, I didn't have my script, so I was winging it. Jackson, why don't you go ahead and mention?
This is the bloody Australian Role-Playing Industry Awards that were held in Melbourne last Sunday night. And look at that! The 2021 award for Best TTRPG stream went to the Stream of Chaos! Hey!
Absolute champions.
We can now claim to be award-winning. Again, it's true. How about that? And only one of us.
We could always have claimed it.
Only one of us was sad enough to write to the organisers and ask for an extra copy of the certificate.
That's definitely
There you go. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere to put it. All I've got is this.
You're just going to hold it throughout the session, right?
Well, yeah, all I've got is this void. I wonder if there's anything I can do about that.
Is this it? Is this the setup reveal that has been hyped for so long?
Hey.
That looks great.
Oh my god, what a bag. That's awesome.
Champion.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Banjo's
A man of theatre and class.
Mm-hmm.
Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that in December I missed a session, and when I came back I had a green screen. That's because I moved house and spent 4 months unpacking it. And now it's done.
That looks great though.
Awesome.
Having seen what it looked like without the green screen.
Oh, you did see that.
Good
I think
work.
the light, it's a bit dim. I've got to mess with the lighting some more, but here we are.
Oh, it's
Here's all my
good.
nerd shit.
Hell yeah.
And I am Jackson, and I'm playing Chaz Dedrick, the rootinest, tootinest cowboy in Cobb's Corners, who was ready to get in here and do some business with some monsters, shoot some goop up. And maybe he still will. He thought with his muscles and his guns he was in control of the situation. He may not be.
That's right. So you were the one that set up this meeting with the deputy. You rode out here intending to confront him, but it seemed he had the upper hand. The trees were beginning to move around you, and as you see the deputy walking away, just next to you is James playing Katie.
That's right. I am Katie Wilkes, the bookworm with a streak for illicit activities. I think that I'm a little terrified at this point, and probably am going to start screaming "run" at the top of my voice any moment.
Yeah, not a bad idea. So you've stumbled a little bit with Chaz placed nearby, ready to protect you. Around you can see the trees moving, and you are aware of how tiny you are, dwarfed by their immense proportions. But lurking somewhere out there in the woods, we have Alex playing Joe. Makes it sound like Alex is lurking.
I'm always lurking, just always lurking. But right now I am lurking specifically as Josephine Johnston, ex-college student, now professionally angry, out for revenge, very large, heavily armed, and with a very high throw statistic.
Hell yeah. Do you have the bandolier of grenades as well? Just flagging.
I have 2 grenades. Not quite a
Awesome.
bandolier, but I have 2.
It's
And
the
they're in my
beginning of a
pockets.
bandolier.
And I'm excited by the prospect of throwing them.
Fantastic. Okay. And lastly, joining us after their break, the previous session, we have Art playing Sebastian. And Art, I gave you a decision before the stream started. You made a luck roll, which allowed you to choose to either be in the meeting or be waiting in the car parked nearby. The car is a little ways away, and you will have seen another vehicle pull up at one point. You can decide if you wanted to be in the meeting, be in the car, and let us know now.
Hey, I'm Art. I'm playing Sebastian McCarthy. trainee wizard and, definite to be future villain. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Sebastian will be in the car because there's a lot of things that were just said that I, having not caught up on the VOD from last week, have no context for. So I feel like Seb being in the car and then seeing some trees moving and being like, the actual fuck, is far more in character for me right now than going, oh no, I was in the woods and have any idea what was going on. So, in the car.
Okay, fantastic. Well, in that case, as we go back, the car was parked off the road, and Joe also saw this as they were, as she was lurking, and watching, trying to skirt around. So, last week, the two soldiers, it's a group of 4 of them, moved in and parked their car a ways away and got a vantage point looking down into this clearing in the trees. It's late at night, and where it was previously cloudless and you could see a forming moon high up in the sky, dark clouds have begun to roll in and you can hear rain pouring in the distance. The soldiers are planted somewhere looking down, their car hidden back a ways, and your vehicle is parked not far from the meeting point. Chaz and Katie hiked in to meet with the deputy, while Joe lingered, and Sebastian, waiting in the car, also saw another vehicle approach, stopping a little ways away, where the deputy got out, said a few quick words to Jason Haggerty, the young boy who helps at the diner, and then headed in to meet with Chaz and Katie. Joe circled round, moving quietly to keep an eye on the situation, while Sab, you waited there, clutching that sort of pommeled cane you wield and listening for the sounds of violence, if they were to come. You would hear them as once the meeting did not go excellently, I wouldn't say, the deputy delivered a warning and then began to walk away. Around you, you can hear trees beginning to stir into life as the dark young that were hiding, masquerading as these ancient and formidable, bulky, viney trees begin to stir. Chaz and Katie, you two are the closest to the deputy. As he walks away, you have a moment to deliver a final, like you can call out to him. What is everyone's intent, basically, with Chaz and Katie declaring theirs first, because you're right in the action?
Shoot the bastard.
Shoot the bastard? Okay, so you're going to try and unholster you have a shotgun or the rifle?
I have everything, mate. You told us what we had, and I put it all on my character sheet. So I feel like I'd have the rifle. I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Is he? How far away is he?
He's quite close. He's only just beginning to turn and head back towards the trees.
No. If I knew we were going to be close up, I would have grabbed the shotgun. I think. I hope that's reasonable.
100%. I mean, yeah, you knew that he was going to meet you inside the clearing, so you had the shotgun holstered over your back. So you swing it round and begin to level it at the deputy who's walking away. Katie, what's your immediate instinct?
I'm going to yell run, and I'm going to try and drag Chaz away. I don't want us to get attacked.
Okay, all right, so you're going to try and bolt. Joe, you're lurking nearby. What are you aiming to do?
Ooh. He's making for his car, isn't he?
He's heading back down towards... It's a bit of the clearing's like a brief bush bash off the trail, but yes, he's heading back towards the road.
There was a kid driving his car, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess if we're stuck with these dark young, then I would prefer for him to be stuck with the dark young also. So I'm going to make for his car with the aim of yanking the kid out, replacing the child with a grenade, and exploding his vehicle.
So moving quietly, you're going to try and slink around and get there first. Sebastian, we're going to come back to you briefly because we're going to get you to make a listen roll once everything breaks out to see how quickly you can act. So first of all, the deputy delivers his final warning, telling Katie to look down and see the altar that she's already placed upon. He then begins to let out this coughing cry and binds the pack, kill the rest, bring him to the town, and lets the harvest begin. He then whirls about and begins to stomp off through the woods, dismissing all of you as Chaz raises a gun and levels it at him. Suddenly the trees around break, exploding away, and you hear a scream and a rat-tat-tat-tat-tat of gunfire in the distance as one of the Dark Young hiding in the trees pulls itself up and begins to lash through them. These creatures are huge moving trees. They are several meters wide, bulky, and you can see where the knots have begun to open up. There are these toothy maws inside them and lashing tongues down at their base. Their branches turn to resemble more knotted tentacles that whirl around into thick, bulky proportions, and they now whip through the undergrowth, completely ripping other trees out of the ground where they land. They are also fast. Joe, your dexterity is highest, but the Dark Young will act immediately after you. Joe, what would you like to do?
I want to get to the sheriff's car, to the deputy's car.
Okay, moving quietly. You get low and begin to move along. Can you please give me I would say either track or navigation to find your way back as quickly as possible?
Yaw.
Or survival. Up to you.
Womp womp.
Okay. You're beginning to move through but in the dark and hearing this, like, the explosions and the occasional gunfire behind you, you are moving slowly. You've found your way down towards the road as you slide down into the mud a little bit, but you haven't made great progress. Something else is going to need to slow him, or else he's taking the faster path because you're trying to be quiet.
Something like a bullet?
Likely. So we'll leave you there. And go back to the Dark Young. So as it wrestles itself up, you know where the soldiers are. You didn't know their exact location, but as they start shooting, you can hear them only a few meters bound north. It tramples across them and begins to basically grind them down into the dirt. You have 4 soldiers. Each of them make a dodge roll. Any that fail are going to take 6d6 of damage. And this is the creature that's coming at you. So for our first, that is going to be a success. For our second, a failure. For our third, another success.
Oh my goodness,
And for
they're
our
beating the
final, a
odds.
failure. They're doing their best. So I'm now going to roll 6d6.
Can I give that last one 4 points of luck?
You can't, unfortunately. Especially because they're a little bit of ways away, but you can try and act to save the final 2. With 21 damage. You hear a scream, a fire of gunshots, and this thing just letting out these like as it just tears them apart and begins to trample towards you. Acting next, we have the soldiers. The 2 remaining ones unsling rifles from their back and begin to fire them into the creature. They are both competent, so they will hit, but it seems to be doing minimal damage, minimal impact, glancing wounds. They begin to retreat away, trying to lead it in the direction away from Katie and Chaz, but not very particularly effectively. So they begin to move, and Cutter breaks the clearing and begins to head down through the woods towards the road. So he is now just leaving your line of sight, but you can choose to pursue. Next, we have Sebastian. Elsewhere, you see the headlights turn on from the other car, and you can hear the gunshots firing in the distance. The headlights of the other car turn on, and it begins to creep forward a little bit, getting ready to pick up its other party. Can you make a listen roll for me, first of all?
This 10...
Oh, well done. You hear all of it. You can hear the gunshots, the screaming, and you can act immediately. You know things have gone poorly, and it's completely up to you to decide what you want to do.
Great. I jump into the front seat of the car and I rev the engine. And I get our car ready to go.
I will assume it is ready to go. Do you want to do something like you could try and batter the other car? You could try and move it into a position to pick up the others faster.
Yes. I'm still trying to like place myself in the scene. So
So my mate, you've been sitting off the side, parked in the road, hidden. The car's lights are all turned off, and you're listening.
If I aim, I get a bonus dice, don't I?
Yes.
Great. I'd like to pull that little stick out of my pocket and aim it at the car.
The other person's car? Mm-hmm. Okay. 100%. I love it.
I'd like to take the aim option with a stick.
Okay. You pull out this weird, like, knotty bit of metal, and it begins to, like, charge electricity. You can see crackles winding up from
I will
these small,
say,
like, nodes.
I take off one of my gloves, and there's a little like click of metal on metal as I pull this out.
Okay. You begin to aim, and I will flag the range of the vehicle currently is outside of this thing's base range, so it will be a hard roll. This gives you a bonus dice, but you begin to get ready. And also, if their car goes past you, which if it's going back to Cobb's Corners, it should, you might get a chance to fire it as it goes past the window. Sound good?
I mean, I'm also happy to get this car closer and or within ramming distance if I need to, but I don't know how many actions I have, so.
And I feel like
you can aim or you can move the car.
What was that, Alex?
I feel like we need a functioning vehicle also to get the fuck out of here.
Would getting closer to that car make it easier for these three to get in it?
Up to you. So you can like ram in the car just if you want to.
No,
try
I'm not necessarily
it.
going to ram it. I just want to get closer so I've got a proper shot at the car. And also so that these three have a car that is closer so that we can get away.
Going towards their car is further away.
Oh, well, that's unhelpful.
Yeah. They parked off the road and sort of hiked in a little bit.
I'll stay where I am for the time being, because...
Okay, and aim the strange device?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
I mean,
alright.
the car is bigger than a human, so I assume it will be easier to hit.
Yeah. So Sebastian draws out this strange node and like standing like in the darkness and everything, like yells and gunfire elsewhere, pulls this like shining little node and begins to level it at the car in the distance, which does not see you. We go now to Jason asks Katie and Chaz. We'll do Chaz first. Chaz, Dedrick, what would you like to do? The deputy leaves your immediate line of sight and goes through bushes. I'm going to impose a penalty dice if you shoot him just now without moving closer. And begins to head away. He seems to be completely willing to ignore you, disregarding you and handing you over towards the Dark Young.
I'm tempted to chase after him just a little bit, just to get a clean shot.
Okay. All right.
Why not?
You push through trees and begin to follow after him. Your feet are like slipping a little bit in the mud and everything as rain begins to patter down around you. You can hear the bellows from behind. You emerge just behind the deputy. He's standing with like a hand on one of the trees and looking down at the road as it comes towards. And when he looks back, he hears a branch break or something, and he looks back to see you. It's your prerogative. Do you say anything? Do you just fire immediately?
Nah. Pull that trigger. Is he within 10 yards, 20 yards, 50 yards?
He would be within, you've gotten close enough, he'll be within 10.
Outstanding.
But we'll also have point blank bonus die.
A bonus die? Outstanding. Here it comes.
I mean,
Can't spend luck on combat rolls, can you?
Yeah, you can.
You can. You just can't push them.
Quête pois.
And you
Or
have
points
to
of luck.
spend before they do their thing. So.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
He is not going to throw himself prone, so he's not going to impose a penalty. So that will go through. So there's a roar of fire and shot as the gun explodes and bullets pepper the deputy. As it hits him, you see he's wearing like a white shirt with a sort of like a denim jacket pulled over or something. It explodes outwards, and where the shot has impacted, there is like already knotted and twisted skin as if it had been like sculpted from clay and then like woven into little nubules all around it. It hits, but the damage does not seem to be quite as significant as you had hoped. That said, he is gonna make a
12.
Constitution roll.
Good.
I don't know rolling. Has that roll come through for you?
No.
No. I see
Okay,
nothing.
I'm just gonna do it.
So you can lie about it.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Sure.
Okay. He gets shot, he gets hammered, and he falls backwards, landing inside one of the bushes and beginning to skid down towards the road. Damage reduced, but still enough to overwhelm him, and he has been knocked out for the moment, at least. So he falls backwards. What's your immediate instinct? Are you following after? Do you yell something out?
No, near enough, good enough.
It's been a cool dude. All right.
Turn and begin to run back.
Okay. We go now to Katie.
I know that these Dark Young are about to arrive and they're about to crash into Chaz and I and start attacking us.
100%.
So my theory is that Chaz ran off. I couldn't drag him. I turned back and forth, saw the Dark Young moving towards us. I ran after him, And as he turns to run back, he doesn't know that the Dark Young is right there. He'll crash right into me, and I've decided that slope that you've described, that fall off a cliff, probably isn't going to do 66 of damage. So I would like to tackle Chaz, and both of us are going to roll down the side to get distance on this thing.
Okay, awesome. Can you
Right.
please give me a jump roll? I think makes the most sense.
Could I
Same cliff
argue
that I just
climb?
cut it down? Same,
It's the same
cliff.
what, sorry?
Same cliff that the cutter just
It's not
rolled
like a
down?
full. It's just it begins like an embankment that begins to roll down and crap around. This is not climb. No, this is definitely jump.
Jump it is.
Bang on the money.
Well, that's
Soaring
not bloody
through
bad.
the sky. Katie, Chaz turns around and you leap into him, and you both go barreling over the side and begin to tumble through the dirt and the muck, sliding down towards the ground and landing inside a bush along the embankment of the road. You can see one pair of light beams beginning to move around and towards you as the car, now ignite, I don't know, begins to come towards to pick up the deputy, who is not immediately seen. He tumbled somewhere just off towards the right, Chaz, when you saw him land.
If the car is moving,
It's just beginning to like slowly head forward, yeah.
okay. I did not want to let that thing out of my sight. So if there's a possibility of being following after it, that is what I would like to do.
Noted. It is very slowly beginning to like come forward, and it will go past you to get there. Your car's slightly off the road. It should see you. Not particularly hidden, but it might not know that anyone's inside.
Cool. Easy
Back at the top, we go to Joe.
I would like to.
Could you give me a luck check very briefly?
Sure. We all know how good those I am. How much luck
Yeah.
I have. Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
No mind. I was just seeing if the deputy tumbled into the same bush you were moving
Ah,
through.
that'd be funny.
So you heard the gunfire, but you don't know exactly where they are. It's dark at the moment. Should have been a penalty dice. It's dark at the moment. Rain spitting down around you, and it's a little hard to see things. The light of the car is an obvious target, but everything else is kind of obfuscated. What do you want to do?
I would like to. If the car is moving with its headlights on, I should be able to see it, right?
Easily.
I want to go to the car and try and yank the child out of the driver's seat.
Okay. Can you give me another stealth roll? This is just as you make the final break to get into range without moving fast, without being seen.
Things I am not, but let's see. Oh no, that's a fumble.
Oh no.
Do you have to make it? Were you trying to be stealthy, or
I'm just trying to get there quickly, but
This was getting there
Alex,
fast
that's
enough
the-
without, because they are going to immediately react to you
yeah.
and try and jam down. So this is gonna. As Joe, as Joe breaks out from the tree line and begins to head across, Sebastian, you see her sprinting, staying low, trying to get close enough to the car to wrench the kid out. When suddenly the car moves around, the lights catch her, and there is like a silhouette standing almost deer in headlights for a moment. The engine revs on the other side, and Jason spurs the
my God, again.
automobile into motion, and it begins to drive towards her at great speed. We're going to park Joe there for just a moment, as elsewhere the Dark Young comes rocketing out of the tree line. It is going to try and trample our two remaining soldiers. Let's see how they fare. They've done well so far.
Time round.
Yep. And an extreme one still going.
Hell yeah.
he's possibly earned a name.
Hard
So
to
you
veteran.
You hear something get like flattened in the
Don't.
distance, but as the creature, now disregarding them, is just going to come after you following its commands, there is consistent gunfire as something harries its every move, trying to shoot. We go now to soldier's turn, again continuing to harry. The deputy is unseen for the moment and hopefully unconscious. Jason revs the engine and is going to try and ram it into Joe. Joe,
He
you
has higher
can try
dexterity than me.
and... yes, he does. Yes, definitely. He can... Joe, you can throw yourself away attempting to dodge and impose a... Actually, it'll be a contested, actually. So you can contest with dodge if you want.
Tumble,
Yes, I would love to do
tumble
it.
over, tumble over.
Yes, I would. Yes, yep.
Tumble over, like up and over, and then get on the roof and be like,
tumble
let's
over.
do some pulp shit. We're all gonna
Yeah.
die anyway.
I've been
given the fumble-
playing Joe like she's a pulp character this whole time, so you know what? It's been working for me so far.
Given the fumble, I'm gonna impose a penalty dice on your roll because this is a large car just rocketing towards you. It's not gonna get up to full speed, so it's only gonna do half its build of damage if it impacts.
Doesn't matter. My dodge is so high.
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
That's a success. I just need to get a hard. Jason makes his roll. Okay. The car comes like roaring along, but and behind the wheel you can see a kid who's probably got a pillow underneath him to get high enough. He's got the wheel clenched in both hands, and you can't it'll only be Sebastian that sees him as he comes roaring around. He swings it about, and the car begins to skid a little bit as it tries to aim you, but you like move down the side so it would have to go off the road and into the trees to hit you, and he wrenches it back and begins to continue driving along the road. You have gotten out of the way, and when the action sort of freezes and we go to Seb's turn, Seb, you can track the car going right past you, and for a moment you see the silhouette of Jason at the wheel as he tries to wrench it around, and slow motion, the strange node you're holding kind of tracks it as it moves. What would you like to do? Is your turn.
These things, when you're hit with one, you have to make a Constitution saving roll. Do you know? That's how these things
yes,
work.
I think that's right. They deal
Great.
damage, and you make a con roll, regardless of how much damage you got dealt.
Amazing. Would Jason Trent be hittable from where I am?
He would. It is a fast-moving target, and it is dark, so I'd say that's 2 penalties. Jim?
Sorry, just want to. It's not Jason Trent. It's Jason from the.
Sorry,
Jason Haggerty, yes. Sorry.
Just making sure you had
Very good
misunderstood because we did
clarification,
miss
yes.
the last session. I just
No,
wanted to-
we're all good.
That's
Haggerty.
fine.
Yeah,
In my
he's
head, I
betrayed
was
us
like the
again.
small weird kid drawing trees, not
Yes, which is right.
the
Which
small
is right.
weird kid who loses
got
bags
another
a lot.
person in their head.
Yeah.
So it would be a penalty dice for fast moving and a penalty dice for vision because it's dark and everything. For him, so
Okay.
and he also does get some armor for being in the car, but that's pretty minor.
Could you just hit
for the
the car?
vehicle,
Okay.
it's large enough that and it's going right past you. You know, I'm going to take off the fast moving target. It was kind of going slower than that, so just 1 penalty dice, and you have a penalty stored from your aim.
Yes.
So it'll be a flat roll
Also,
for
are we in
Jason, a
does
bonus
this thing
roll
has point
for
blank?
the vehicle.
Does-
Yeah, it still would. Yeah, it's a ranged weapon.
Am I within point blank or no? I'm just
It's probably the
within
car going past. I think probably not. Actually, what's your dex? We can figure it out. It's 1/5 of your dex in yards, which I will just
my
mentally
dex is
convert to
60.
meters.
So,
So 12. Yeah, if it goes past you, it would have to basically. So yes, you get point blank.
So Jason's in point blank as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or just the car? Great. Well, in that case, I've got a bonus. Because it's 1 for that, 1 for aim.
Hell yeah.
Negative. So let's just go for little boy. Because, you know, as I said before, I don't like hurting children, but if I can knock one unconscious and put them in the naughty corner, I'm all for
Take
that.
it where you can. Okay. Go
God.
ahead and make the attack.
Don't even need my bonus. But we'll
Excellent.
roll it anyway. Nope.
Okay. Nice.
Boom stick.
Yeah, sorry. It does boomstick. I forgot I'd written that. Oops.
Go ahead and make it's a D10 of damage.
It's
I
oh,
believe.
it's not. Did I not put damage on it? Oops. Oh yeah, I didn't write damage. My bad. No, right. I'll put that on the combat
I
sheet.
believe, I
and
believe
I'll-
it's a D10. I'm just pulling it up on my thing as well.
I will hold. And I will also take my new skill of electric gun.
Electric
/
nonsense.
Boomstick.
Electric. It deals. No, that's rigging it. Yeah, it's a D10. It's a D10. So roll a D10. If you roll a 1, the car's armor will. Whoa, it's close. Okay. The car's armor absorbs 1 point of it, as you see it gets like dispersed across the glass and
I mean,
steel.
it makes
and
sense
then,
because the car is made of metal and this thing is electric, and he's essentially in a makeshift Faraday cage. However, I'm a better shot than that.
100%, but enough of it gets past, and you can see he suddenly tenses up and like falls onto the wheel, swerving, and the whole thing skids across. He's going to make his Constitution roll to stay conscious, and he's going to fail. The car skids across, begins to almost roll, but stops and slams into a tree on the other side. And although the headlights are still flickering a little bit, they're no longer moving. As we end your turn and go to Katie and Chaz, tumbling out of the underbrush. Chaz, would you like to go first? Actually, it's both of you, so, and kind of decide amongst yourselves.
What?
You go, run, we gotta run. And I'm trying to grab Chaz and run towards, can we hear and see all this action with the cars?
It's like a little, you've tumbled out, it's a little bit down the way, but yes, you can see it. You just see the car skid, and the head beams are kind of pointing in your general direction. High beams.
Absolutely. Yes, well, let's run towards that.
Okay.
I will join Katie.
Okay, both of you sprint across the road and get to the car. As you arrive, Joe is just pulling herself like away from the mud and trees and things. You can see Jason slumped down over the car. We will leave you there, and as we go to Joe, Joe, you pull yourself up. You can see the other two running across, and Sebastian just let out this beam of bluish sparks that's rattled across the car. As you get up and see Chaz and Katie, they're sprinting through the headlights, and you sort of like pull yourself up and wave them out, and then you see the trees part, and something steps forth into the high beams. This is the first time that the Dark Young has been fully visible. You are now all immediately aware of it and what it is.
Yes.
Can everyone please make a sanity roll? Oh, it's good. Okay. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, even on a failure, this is one of the big boys. A failure is, a success is a D3 of sanity. A failure is a D10.
Just quickly though, what is it
we'll
on an
roll yours
extreme?
last.
Because I got an extreme success on that.
I've got an extreme success
I
there.
respect that.
Funny.
We will roll yours last, and we will, yes, because I do agree, there is a level at which, though, you have to admit that there are things, when you're firing electric guns at
totally
wizard
fine.
children.
I feel like you are still taking a point,
completely wrong.
but like, I feel like, I don't know, these very much are like stuff that Seb has been reading about at this point. He's like, I don't know these. These are just weird tree things. It's a little off-putting, but they're just weird trees.
I agree. Joe and Chaz, both roll your D10s.
I lost one sanity from that. I feel like I really got away easy.
Yeah, Katie's just like,
Okay.
we'll
That's
deal
one
with this
potential
later.
bout.
Chaz.
And that is, whoa, Joe, that's a big hit.
I'm out
Joe,
here
is that a
again.
fifth? What is a fifth of your sanity?
My sanity is not high. My sanity is 38.
Okay.
Here we go.
Joe is officially off the deep end. Okay. So Chaz is going to make... Chaz, can you make an intelligence roll for us? We'll see if you...
This is my
Because I don't
one
think that's on a
saving
fifth for you,
grace.
right?
Not yet, no. Got another 3 to go. Here we go. Yeah, bastard.
Uh-oh.
Buddy,
He realized
One
it
time
today.
you needed to be stupid.
You aren't able to push this away, and the reality of your situation, this monster bearing down on you or your friends, is here. You're a kid. You're supposed to be in college, but here you are, fighting gods. So both Chaz and Joe are going to have a bout. Katie, you are keeping it together. We go to Sebastian. So, the way you've been kind of putting these away, the reason you haven't been taking sanity losses so far is because you've been able to convince yourself that this is like sort of hypothetical. This is something that can be studied, something that can be understood, but ultimately isn't real, is like an alternate science. As this monstrosity bears down on you, there is no explanation for its size, its mass. It should not be able to move. It should not be able to rend the air apart with its vine-like branches. You can hear a whipping and cutting, sort of like booms as it strikes, and it is as if reality distorts around it to explain how this thing can be. That said, you got an extreme, and if anyone's got a chance of understanding the mythos and putting it to bed, it's Sebastian. Can you please make a Cthulhu mythos roll? Your base is 12. If you succeed this, we are going to ignore that penalty forever, the potential one. So this is you understanding it and putting it away.
That is hilarious. Just as a mechanical thing, because I know we said this a few times, is it if I fail a sanity check, then I will take the loss of everything? Or...
It is if you take sanity loss.
Oh, okay. So even if I succeed, no take sanity
I will
loss.
confirm that right now,
'Cause-
but I believe that's right.
That's fine.
I think it is if you lose sanity in any form.
Because
Yes.
we've lost sanity from, like, I've lost sanity from stuff from, like, doing magic, but that didn't impact.
Yes, but it was not. It was from viewing a mythos creature. However, when encountering mythos firsthand, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So go ahead and make a Cthulhu.
Can I
mythos roll,
spend
please.
luck on this? My Cthulhu mythos roll.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
the
a big
same I
hit.
did last time. Ooh, can I push it? Then I can't spend luck. That's
No, you
stupid,
cannot push
actually.
it, unfortunately.
No, can I push it? All right.
Oofed.
Not on this one. This was already
Okay.
a
Alright.
stacking penalty. Okay.
We are okay with that.
All right.
All right. Let us roll.
Sebastian,
the D3.
you are going to lose a D3 plus 12. What is your sanity? It is 80,
That is
right?
nuts.
It's currently 77, I believe.
Okay. So 15. So if you get a 3,
I get a 3.
or a 4,
I can't get a 4.
indefinite.
I'm rolling a D3.
Sorry, yes, it's a D3. It's only a 3. You're all right. Forgot we were rolling. Okay, roll them.
Is everyone ready?
I'm ready.
Ooh. 14 sanity in one massive hit. You are still going to need to make an intelligence roll for me, but you are one off going indefinitely insane on this awful, awful night.
Love it. I need to do some.
And you're pretty smart too.
Moderately. I'm okay with that.
You're mostly charming
And persuasive.
and persuasive. That's charming.
And magic. All right. Intelligence. Yeah. I know
Okay.
what's going on.
So that is Sebastian, Chaz, and Joe, all
Fun fact,
three
though.
going into bouts of madness.
Guys,
Still on 63 sanity.
Unreal.
Unreal.
I'm
gonna
still the most
whisper,
sane person.
guys, it's fine. It's just we gotta compartmentalize.
I'll remind you, I'm in a car and I can cast magic. And I have an electricity stick. This is going to be fine.
And grenades. This is great. Chaz has all the weapons. This is awesome.
And who's got the grenades again?
That's me.
Can each of you
65
privately, either with a physical dice or something, or whisper it to me, roll a d10 so that you know how many rounds this is going to last for you?
What do you want me to do, Dave?
We'll come back to you in a moment. And it's actually still going to be
Don't
Joe's
die.
turn once this
Wait,
unfurls.
am
I'm
I
just looking at
indefinite?
Baxt. You are
I am.
indefinite, yes.
Yeah, so I don't need to roll
Which means-
because I'm not rolling for this
Oh,
one.
that's right. You go straight to a bout if you go to indefinite.
Yeah.
And I'm going to message each of you your... Talk amongst yourselves as I search for your backstories.
So do I still need to roll the d10 for...
Yes, this is for your bout of madness duration, but the indefinite will last indefinitely, basically, until you get
Oh,
the
Joe's
help use of
indefinite as
destiny.
well. Oh my god.
I'm going to send you
Oh
my
yeah,
rounds.
you rolled 10.
Nasty, nasty stuff.
All right. So Chaz,
I'm failing to remember how to whisper, but that's okay. I'll-
slash
Just do it in Discord.
W.
I was doing it in
Oh
Discord.
yeah, or just that. Yeah, that works too. Chaz, your ideology / belief will come to the fore. It is the one thing that you can focus on at the moment. It defines your every action, and you work devoutly to see it fulfilled. Okay.
What's your ideology belief?
Okay.
That's going to be, you can, I'll leave it to you to describe it. Noting that basically you have lost control of Chaz for the moment and he's just obsessively following this. So I might step in and fine tune things if they don't suit. But I prefer to
good.
let you guys kind of like run with them. For Sebastian.
I sent you my dice roll in as a private message. Enjoy.
Perfect. Art, I'm going to whisper you. In roll 20. Did you see that?
A plus. Yep.
No.
And for
Oh no.
Alex, I'm gonna whisper you.
I am tense.
Nothing more exciting than watching someone write on.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm
Tense
tense.
writing.
And
Did
every
you get
time,
that?
every time something
Did you
else
get that,
comes
Alex?
up in chat, I'm like, oh.
Wait, so like, while the GM whispers to, or while the keeper whispers to everyone, we would like to remind you that we are now an award-winning TTRPG stream, thanks to the RP Awards that happened last weekend. If you would like to catch up on the award-winning stream, go to youtube.com/Chaosium.
Correct.
The Necropolis.
And go and check out the Necropolis and all of the other fun things that we've done. Go do the
What a
thing.
great
I'm
time.
terrible
Oh,
at
boy.
advertising.
Suddenly, everyone's gone insane.
So confirming,
boy.
Seb, Chaz, and Joe, you all have your directives.
Oh.
I've also applied my cool
Okay.
new madness effect, so you all look horrible and spaced out. That will run for the D10, which you have each messaged me. Thank you. And we now go back to technically that was just the Dark Young moving into view. They will act. It will act next. Alex, you are the first to go.
Here we go. The tree theme comes out of the forest, and Joe freezes for a minute, takes in what she's seeing, and then there's her face kind of slackens and then constricts with absolute just pure fury and rage, and she's gonna run
Oh my god.
towards towards the deputy. No, I can't see.
Okay.
I don't know where he is, do I?
You saw him tumble down into the ground nearby. You think you might know. The kid is just is like been knocked out at the wheel.
The car is the
Jason.
car still driving?
No, it is sort of stalled and stopped, not far from where it would have hit you.
I'm gonna. This doesn't work if I don't know where the deputy. I assume he's still coming. I guess I'm not assuming anything. I'm mad. I'm gonna go to the car door and pull the kid out.
Okay. You
I
wrench
can?
it open. This kid is lying slumped across it. He's young, maybe 12 or 14. He's got brown hair, which is a bit slick with the rain, and he's wearing what looks like his dad's jacket pulled on. He's fallen. He's like over it, and as you wrench him out, he's spasming slightly, and you can see his teeth gritted and like bulging at the jaw where he clenches.
I'm gonna pull the kid out and like just scream into the darkness. Deputy, I've got your kid.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah. Do you want to make an
It's
intimidation roll
your
for me,
turn
please?
to pay. And I'm yep. And I'm also fishing in my pockets for something.
Awesome. Can you please make an intimidation roll?
Yeah. Skills. I'm not as good at intimidation. I'm much better at persuading, but okay.
I think this fills the intimidation. Ticks that box.
Yeah. I always lose things on this sheet.
Alphabetical is.
I know.
I always do run. I have to run through the alphabet as quickly as possible.
Except it's not alphabetical because there's like it's alphabetical but in
exceptions.
chunks.
Yeah.
It's alphabetical with the occasional surprise.
Yeah, like this
Alphabetical?
one, which is not. Oh, where is it?
Hang on.
It's physical, isn't it?
It is. It's just under history. In the middle, under
yes,
firearms,
there
basically.
it is. It's not where I expected it to be. Oh, good.
Oh, well
I'm
done.
intimidating.
Okay. All right. Awesome. You yell out, calling the deputy that you've got his kid, and you will
And
see.
it's his time to pay.
You will see something stirring off the side in the bushes. But before then, the Dark Young storms forward and breaches the trees. It heads just through the light. You can see the illumination catching these sort of like knots and moors that open up, lashing tongues. With every tread, the mud doesn't so much as move away as it just compresses underneath it, and always looks like with enough force it would drive itself to the center of the earth. As it heads forward, one massive tendril slams into the car that Jason was driving, and it is just slammed across into the trees, crumpling against one of the older sort of like massive trunks there. And then another tendril lashes out and drives towards Katie.
Oh no.
Okay, here we go.
So, Katie, can you please make... you can contest with either fighting brawl or dodge.
You know what? I'm going to go dodge.
Yeah, good call. Sometimes. It's as simple as that.
Here we go. It's a success. And
Okay.
I will lock it as well. I'm going to lock that down to a hard because I really want to survive.
You may want to consider it because given its prodigious size, I'm going to give it a bonus dice on its
Yes.
grab.
Yes. Okay. So let me think. Yeah. Fucking, do I go extreme?
Yep. If you got the luck, spend it
Yep,
out.
Yes.
Well, it's either that or
gonna do it.
you get the other overlay.
I luck it. I'm gonna luck it to
You
an
guys want to
extreme.
see every overlay?
We have so many.
You probably
Okay,
will.
so that's luck to an extreme, James, confirming?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and spend that, reducing your luck as the tentacle reaches out towards you. And just as it gets close, you see that on the edges, they don't just turn into tips, they turn into maws as well. And they are hollow,
Oh, no.
pulsing. And when it tries to latch onto you, its little teeth, like one of those lampreys, will latch on and pull you in closer. It makes its roll. That's a hard. I'm going to roll the bonus dice. That's not going to work. Adding. We'll just do a roll. D10, this is replacing the 10s. A 16 is an extreme.
But
Dodge priority.
Because your dodge is an extreme, you win the tie. Jim, what does it look like as this massive thing crumples a car and then reaches out towards Katie? The others around you are all staggered for just a moment as Joe holds a kid aloft and begins to like fumble for something in her pocket. What do you do? What's it look
It's
like?
about all my luck, but here I think it's think of that classic understated thing where the tendril slams down and it looks to all perspectives like Katie has just been squashed, but then the tendril pulled up and it just missed somehow by like an inch, and it's just kind of like
You're like up against behind the car. It's very Jurassic Park when the lawyer is found in the toilet by the T-Rex. Awesome. So Katie, you're able to move out of the way. That is its turn. We go now to stumbling out of the woods comes one vital soldier. He's like, his fatigues are torn. He's nursing a broken arm and clutched, like rather than being able to hold it, he's got it lent a shotgun lent up against the elbow because it looks as though his arm's been broken. He levels it up. He said, "Go to hell, you fucking creature." Sorry, Jim, go ahead.
I was going to yell something. If he's staggering through
sure.
the woods, I presume he's coming from the same direction as the deputy, who is now standing up. Can I shriek and point at the deputy and say, "Hit that one"?
Yeah, make a
persuasion?
persuasion. Take a penalty dice because it's in the middle of a fight and everything. But
Yep. That's
Jim, you champion.
Well,
oh my god, I'm not good at persuading. Penalty dice.
Action hero. Brady.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
a
hang on.
double success.
oh no, yes, because is there? Never mind. We're good.
Yeah.
I was like,
what do you yell?
100, but no.
Sorry, what did you say there?
What do you? So actually, I'll describe it. So you've just begun to see the bushes stir where the deputy fell. He hasn't fully stood up yet, but he acts next. So narratively, it 100% works. This last soldier comes out, busted. It's actually a rifle, sorry, slung across his thing with like the strap knotted around his hand so he can keep it steady. He aims up at the creature, prepared to futilely fire at it again in the hopes that it distracts it. When you see someone moving nearby and the deputy begins to rise up, his shirt has been completely torn away by both the shotgun blast and then looks like the mud and things that you rolled in, so it's smeared with dirt and grime. There is now, you can see he has something similar to your own flesh wound, Katie. There's like, as if pads over his chest of flesh, added on, and then carved into it is this bloody symbol, which is open and weeping, not blood, but like a clear, liquidy pus or something. As he stands up, his eyes are bloodshot, hat lost, hair astray. As he looks up, he begins to hold a hand, pointing to your group, and say something in a perverse and forgotten tongue. What do you yell, Katie?
That one! He controls it!
Okay. The soldier is going to turn around and try and fire. Given they're both going to operate, I'm going to turn this into a contested roll to see how they go. So he's going to make his shot.
Is there going to be any penalty for the deputy, given that I am directly threatening his child? Is that perhaps distracting him at all?
He actually just, that's definitely gotten him up, and his attention, he seems, actually, I'm not going to let you know exactly what he's thinking.
Okay.
He does not seem to be focusing on that immediately.
Okay.
So he turns, and as you direct the soldier to fire, he's going to try and get off his own spell. Rifle within range. Raining, nah. Bonus, nah, because it's point blank. Just straight roll. So this is against the deputy. Clean him up, mate.
Come on, buddy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. 2d6 plus 4.
So I'm going to roll a power roll for the deputy to see if he can get off his first. Where is our young friend, John Cutter? If he can meet the hard. No. All
The
right,
suspense is killing me.
Oh, it's because it's
No.
whispering to Keeper. I'm so dumb. Sorry. I had this turned on from ages ago when I pummeled Jackson. The button was still turned on. There we go. Okay, only a hard. Only a regular needed a hard. So as he raises up, he begins to say something again. You can see blood spilling from his teeth. His tongue lashes out in impossible syllables as Katie. Actually, no, it'd be Chaz. Chaz, you begin to feel a familiar feeling. It's as if one of your legs is caught in a vice and it's twisting closer. You can feel popping as sinews explode, veins bulge, and blood begins to burst in bruises. You almost tumble down as he continues to repeat the chant, and then suddenly a shot rings out. It is 2d6 plus 4.
Fuck you, deputy.
And the deputy's head explodes across. Blood like spatters the leaves around, and for a moment he stands and then he just falls into the mud, collapsed. And there's a beat, Katie, where you can see the Dark Young in front of you pause, and then it looks back down at you, and it was commanded to capture Chaz and Katie and kill the rest. It has been released from whatever contract it was held to, and now it begins to just go fucking feral. That ends the soldier's turn. That ends the deputy's turn. Jason is unconscious and held by Joe. We go now to Seb.
The new madness.
Smash my foot against the accelerator of this car, and I do not care what I hit on my way out. Bye!
Hell yeah. Can you make a drive auto test, please?
No, I cannot, but I will because it's fun.
It is slippery.
Oh,
Yes.
It is.
Sebastian
What?
McCarthy, everybody.
As rain pelts down, the whole area is slick with mud. You can barely see. Your own leg stiffens against the accelerator, and you lurch away, driving straight past. Joe and the Katie had dove up to the side. Joe was
Katie
holding
actually
the
said
kid.
that she dove towards the car, like she said, like Jim specifically said.
That was the fallen car. So
The fallen
okay.
cars, the one that got smashed out of the way. Can I get? So I think Katie's out of the way. Actually, this is what. Can everyone make a luck roll, please? The Chaz, Katie, and Joe.
Yeah, I'm real good at
You're
this.
You're still gonna get it. If you fail, it's just gonna go to a dodge roll. Okay.
What if you fumble?
As Seb swings it across.
What if you
What if you fumble like
two of
some of
you
us may
fumble?
Oh my god, like two of you. still both make dodge rolls. Rather than a glancing bow, this is more the car going right through and past.
Sick.
Katie. Oh, yeah. So Katie's just a failure. Katie, can you take a D? I think a D3 for just a glancing blow.
Katie was a fumble. No, were you a fumbled block roll or no?
Katie wasn't
Was
a
me?
fumble. Katie
I
just
was
failed.
a fumbled luck roll, I think. Wasn't it?
96.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I
Sorry.
was a fumbled luck roll.
Oh, it was you. Sorry, I thought it was.
No, fumbled luck roll.
Anyway,
and
you're.
failed the
Oh,
dodge.
sorry. That's a. I misread. Sorry.
asked for
Oh
a
my
luck.
god. It was
Katie
Chaz
and
that
Joe
succeeded.
fumbled, and I failed.
Sorry. In that case, Katie, take a D10.
Ugh.
Joe succeeds, and Chaz, did you make your dodge?
Remember, you have flesh
as well.
stuff.
Yeah, and you've
Yes.
got your 3 plus 3.
Continuing my
stuff.
streak of getting hit by allies in cars
Holy
in
shit.
this.
Chaz and Joe
Three.
leap out of the way. Joe bringing the kid with her. As Katie, you like just got slammed by this thing. You crouch down, and then you get bodied by the vehicle
Holy
and
nuts.
tumbled across and into the underbrush on the other side. You take a D10,
Oh, wow.
which is 9 damage.
Get some
Where
armor.
I start yelling in pain and do not immediately fall unconscious.
Holy shit!
Some
So
armor?
reduce
You got your
reduce
armor?
the damage by 3 from from the hit points bestowed to you by Sebastian's magic. Then reduce it by
I
another
helped.
1 for your
Kind
leather
of.
coat.
Oh, okay. In which case, I'm not major wounded.
Wasn't it 2 for the coat? Heavy leather.
Just
Isn't
just one, I
one?
think, right, Jim?
Uh,
I believe
it
it's
is
just one. It's just one, I think. Yeah.
okay.
I think you guys also got the bonus that applies to electricity because you like.
I have it written down that it was 2 because like we'd had time. Doesn't fucking matter, but regardless, I'll update that.
Thank you. So Katie, is that a major wound then, or not even?
No.
Okay. So Seb slams into Katie, gets bodied across and into the underbrush. You hear like a yell from that side as the only sane character is yeeted across the map. And then Seb begins to hightail it, leaving. At speed, you will, even not at full speed, you will be able to outpace this. Unfortunately, not necessarily thinking sanely, and these are slippery roads late at night. People driving fast around here don't always get home. So you can like hammer around corners and things, trying to flee in panic.
I will tell you where
leave you
I'm-
there for the moment.
Would you like to know where I'm going?
Desperately.
Arkham.
Oh, fair
Okay.
enough. Get the hell out.
You're-
Like
you are
none of this is
failing,
safe. I was gonna ask you, like, where do I feel is the most safest place? No, I know where it is. It's fucking Arkham. I'm going home.
Does the Dark Young get glanced? By the pub?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dave, does it?
Yeah, give it a luck
Yeah,
check.
it was right there. I don't think it gets to make a luck roll because it doesn't have
Pretty
a luck.
big.
Actually, Seb, could you make a luck roll for this one then?
Correct.
Actually, no, take it back. Car goes past, then gets hit.
The only thing would be
I'm just gonna
that
roll its dodge.
I don't specifically like because this thing is what I'm terrified of. If hitting it with the car is going to slow me down, that's not a thing that my insane mind is going to want to do.
Okay,
It's
I mean, you're
going
just trying to go
directly
as
away
fast
from
as-
it. So yeah. But sure.
Okay. That will hit. So that will deal. Go ahead. It's not a fumble though, so just it'll take the D3. Can you roll a D3 for me, please?
D3. Okay.
D3. Yeah, just for the glancing blow. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. You see it, like basically it just rebounds off it as you drive off and
And make a
away.
lovely one of these lovely scrape lines across the paintwork of the car as I just veer off into nothingness.
Okay. So leaves Sebastian. We go to Chaz and Katie. Who wants to go first?
Oh, is it not? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
I think it's Chaz first. That's what we've been doing.
Okay.
Well,
Sea
I had a
Dog.
plan for my bout of madness, but it relied on Seb being here.
Bye.
The car is like well and truly like
It is.
gone.
It is leaving. Yeah.
balls.
There is the other car.
Do you want to like jump onto it as it goes
you could
past?
steal the car.
Am I mad enough to do that? Oh, I think I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm going
This is
after
throwing
Seb.
yourself. 100%. This is throwing yourself after a. Throwing yourself at a moving vehicle. Go ahead and make a jump roll. Penalties are, getting hit by it.
The suspense. Come on. That's luckable. That's luckable.
That's likable.
I'm mad enough to spend 9 points of luck.
Okay,
That's
all
like-
right. So I don't think Sebastian's necessarily noticed as Sebastian tears away and you throw yourself onto the back. You catch the like bumper and your feet are dragging for a moment until you pull yourself forward and you're heading towards the rear window. do we see anything else? Do we see your intent, or do you want to leave it veiled for the moment as you go hammering away into the darkness?
Yeah, that's fine. If I can't do anything else right now, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing. That's for sure.
All right, awesome. You leap onto it. Where are you headed? Sorry, are you heading to get inside it, or?
Yeah. And, trying to get close to Seb.
Okay, all right. You begin to pull yourself forward and towards the rear doors, and we'll come back to you after Katie's turn.
All right, so I get up, I see everybody running and disappearing. I'm injured. I can't take another hit from this thing or I'll go down. As I stagger up, I can see that Joe is still stuck there, clear madness in her eyes. I can't fight off Joe. I can't drag her away. Also, if I tried, I'd get myself pulled in. But I also can't leave. I can't bring myself to do it, so I have to try something. So, I think acting on just complete instinct, I am going to I am going to stand up and try and use. I'm trying to argue a fast talk check here. In the trees, I'm going to start to emulate the damaged voice of Joe's friend that we met in the basement and that I heard, and I'm hoping that her rage will get her to chase me, and I can just lead her away from the combat.
Okay. Don't roll just yet. I love it. Yeah, you met him. This is acting would be the perfect one. But I think this absolutely plays. I tell you what, Alex, depending on what gets said and everything, I'll kind of leave this to you to determine what level of success you think would get what reaction. It's your character and it's etc. Jim, do you want to roll first and describe what you say, or do you want to say first and then make the roll?
I say Joe in that horrible croak that Joe, I'm lost. They're hurting me. Trying to get drag away. Okay.
Based on exactly what you sent me, Dave, I'd say that as a normal success would do it, to be honest.
Make a fast roll, Jim.
Urging me to stop, it'd be hard, but saying, come and get me. Oh well.
I am 2 luck short. I can't. Can I push it?
In combat, you can't push rolls. Is what it says in the book. But, would a dramatic thing be failing? Joe, can you think of something appropriately dramatic if you catch Katie trying to impersonate your dead friend who you...
She'd probably think that Katie was possessed. Being completely insane. She'd probably think that instead of believing that it's actually Joe, she'd probably think that John is now possessing Katie, and Katie is now John as Katie. She would think that there's some hokey possession thing going on, and I don't know how she'd react to that.
I guess I'm happy to find out. Jim, do you want to go ahead and push the roll?
Let's do it. Oh God.
Okay.
No.
All right. Joe will leave you to run with that as... actually, we go immediately now to your turn. So you are holding... you'll hear this yelling off to the side as you're holding Jason. He's still breathing. He didn't take too much damage, although you can feel him tensing up. And this thing has just thundered one car across and then... slammed Katie in another... it was a car that slammed her in another direction. The vehicle leaves with Seb and Chaz on board. Well, you might not have known as Chaz. And the deputy has fallen where he was shot by the soldier. What do you want to do?
I'm going to look... I can see that... I can tell it's Katie, but she's a fair way away. On the other side, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, is your bout still going? Where did you... Is this your last or penultimate?
No, this will be my last.
Okay, so you still got this round, or are you free of it?
How many rounds have I been insane?
1 so far.
Yeah, no,
just the one. Okay,
one round.
right.
This is my last one. And I'm going to start laughing hysterically, and Joe's gonna go, "You're one of them. I knew it. You were too smart not to be one of them. Whatever you've done, whatever you think you've got on him, you don't have him. He's too strong for you. You're not going to be able to hold him for long. And I'm going to toss the kid into a ditch off the side of the road and make for the car. You're lucky you're out of sight. The other one, the one that's left, the kid's car.
The one that got slammed by the Dark Young. Okay.
Does it look bad? Does it look like it's not going to drive, or does it look beat up?
You're a mechanic. You might have it'll be a roll, but you've got a chance. It's mostly just like framework and structure. If you get the engine going, you can try and bail.
Yeah.
Do you want to try and do that? Do you want to try and get in and?
Yeah, hysterically laughing, get into the car, yelling into the night where I know Katie is possessed or has captured the mind of my dead friend. That I'll come back for you. Don't you worry. But the town's got a date with me now, and I'm going to try and get in the car and drive into town and fuck shit up.
Hell yeah. Can you make a mechanical repair check to get it up and running?
Possibly? No, I can't do jack.
You get into the car and just kind of just like captured by this madness and this obsessive thing. You probably don't even realize it's not working for a while. You're just like hitting it and trying to start the car.
I am crazy.
I think probably not. The combat in theory, we're really not supposed to push too many. It's just you do it on a round by round thing. So I think like you try and get it, you could luck it if you have it, but 53 I think is beyond anyone.
I don't think I've had 53 luck at all this game.
Yeah. Okay,
no,
maybe
it's not beyond me.
Jesus. You're behind the wheel trying to like spur it forward, not even realizing that it's not moving just yet. As you continue to cackle, you can feel Jeffrey's presence and you can like sense like someone mocking him out in the woods beyond. We go now to the Dark Young's turn. As it will
yelling.
As you're sitting in the car trying to move it forward, suddenly the glass explodes inwards. Shards shatter all across the interior, lacerating your face, and then one of those tentacles grabs you, and you are hauled bodily from the vehicle.
No dodging?
It is going to make its attack. You can attempt to dodge. You can absolutely attempt to dodge.
No chance it attacks the soldier instead. It's not more interested in him.
Especially not since he didn't shoot it last time.
Deputy.
Yep.
I am not being quiet or stealthy. I am sitting in a car laughing. Okay.
Go ahead and make a dodge roll, and then it will roll.
Really? Seriously? God, obviously I'm lucking that.
You spent one at least. Okay. It is going to use
I'm lucking that, but it'll just be a normal one.
Such.
It has a bonus dice, so stay watching. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
This is its bonus. And that's a hard. By 1 point, that's a hard.
No way. Oh my god.
Joe is grabbed by the thing and hauled out of it. Glass shatters across you as you're suddenly held up to one of its maws, and you see something like one of the tentacles or something pierces your stomach, similar to that same wound you got when you dragged yourself through the glass, and you can feel your like muscles beginning to be drained, liquefied first, and then sucked down the creature's thing as your strength is literally leaving your body. That will be at the end of the round, but you are currently being held.
And I'm still crazy. At least I have that.
Absolutely,
at least I'm not cognizant of what's happening. I'm just
Not yet.
So our soldier, Jason's still out of it. The deputy is. The soldier will rush forward. Joe, do you yell anything to him as he's rushing up?
I'm probably just screaming. I think I'm, having my muscles liquefied and sucked out of me. I'm probably not particularly chatty. I'm just screaming. I'm just screaming.
Okay. All right.
Simply screaming. Horribly.
Oh god. The sick
could try and... Hey?
Probably quite wet at this point. Wet screaming.
Oh.
Katie, where are you? Are you? What's your intent? Is anyone going to come and try and tell this freaking goon what to do?
I was knocked into the woods. So I think I'm a little off to the side. If you're happy for it, I will use my turn to scream "pull her free" and then probably run because I can't do anything here.
No, it wouldn't be your turn. You could just yell if you wanted to try and give him. In theory, he's supposed to follow commands and things.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you will yell to him to try and get her loose. He is going to make a power roll, just to simplify his. Can he stand and continue to not flee before the terror of the Dark Young? So give me one moment. I'm not gonna whisper. Haha, got him good.
No.
Oh.
You say that. He looks
gonna
up
bounce.
at this thing, and it's holding Joe. You see him like stumble backwards. The gun falls to the ground, and he begins to run, splashing through the mud, off the path, and into the deeper woods. We go now. Oh yeah, we go now to Sebastian. Seb, as you're hammering along roads, what's your intent? Just keep driving. Get the hell out of here.
Banging it. Just getting out of there.
Okay. Dun-dun. Okay.
I will.
Awesome. Do you want to make?
Yeah. I'm going fast and I'm getting out. That's what I'm doing.
Could you give
I
me
am
a
certainly-
listen roll to see if you notice the? No.
I will say though,
Alright.
I am given like the last roll. I am driving at speed. I'm like keeping it straight, but we're going over rough terrain, so
100%.
anything Chaz does on the outside of the car is probably going to be real fucking hard.
Pretty
'cause
bumpy.
It's bumpy, and I'm going at full speed.
Not gonna be outside the
100%.
car for long.
That depends if you get in, mate. That's my point.
Okay. Art, can you please give me a drive auto roll? As you're hammering around, suddenly you hit a patch of mud and you begin to slide across it, pushing towards the other side.
I mean, what is failure? What does that even mean?
Failure is going to be the car impacts. I roll damage against it to see if it reduces the car's body, and also it's a good chance, we don't know this, it's a good chance Chaz gets thrown. We'll see if he can hold on.
Wow.
But it's the car impacting and possibly being stalled for a period.
Stalled or slowed down?
Stalled, like it might, it will take a moment to get going. And there's also a chance we roll against its build. So I would classify, this is only the first roll, so I'm going to classify this as a moderate incident, driving through the woods at night at speed into a tree. So it's going to be a D6 to the car's build. It has 4 build. When its build is halved, there's a penalty dice for all drive auto rolls. When it's reduced to 0,
Car goes boom. I assume.
it's the
I
big
assume
red
the car-
barrel conveniently placed next to the boss. Yeah.
I feel like I am not in a. I feel like this is far more interesting if the
Completely
car
agree.
hits something. Yeah.
Completely agree.
I'm
All right.
far more interested in to see what happens with Chaz on the outside of a car that gets smashed into something, and also whether Seb goes through the front windshield. Like, fuck it, let's go. Because I don't think Seb is trying to be safe. Well, I know he's not. He's just going. Quick question.
Yeah.
You said that I had the ability to cast some spells if I wanted to. At the
If you
beginning
wanted
of
to,
this.
yeah. Oh, yes,
So-
some pre-baked ones.
Like, would it have been reasonable that I had done that on myself, essentially?
Yes.
Will flag though if you cast spells, will you lose sanity and therefore have been bouted?
It would
I don't
only
actually
if
think
it
it would-
reduces you. If you get down, yes, that is a good point. If you get around the 5th, actually, in either way, it doesn't matter because you did hit the bout, so it'll just be if you're indefinite. But good flag, Jim.
Yeah. Good.
Do you want to have pre-baked?
Because that's
You succeeded
a
a lot.
50 within a day.
Yeah. So,
So
if you-
You'll
I mean-
hit it if you take any. If you hit through the next 5 bracket, you'll be
Do
indefinite.
I want Seb to be indefinitely insane for the next portion of this chapter? Yes, I do.
Alive and insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead
absolutely.
and cast the spell.
So I get to do it per magic point. We were going to go and fight the deputy, which I didn't know
Yes.
about the Dark Young, but I did know the deputy had some bullshit.
In theory, it was also a conversation. This was like pre-bagging. It was definitely the assumption was like a conversation. He ganked you,
Okay.
but you could have been you could have prepared.
I just don't know how many magic points I would have spent on it. So
Do you want to roll? D4.
yeah, I'll roll a d4. I think like I would have gone at least 2,
Lady
but
luck,
whether
yeah.
or not I did more,
Do I don't know, 1 plus a d4 or something. So then you've got at least 2.
yeah, roll d4 plus 1. 4. Okay. So, and I'll use 4. I lose 1d4 of sanity. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
It's on
Do you
my
have
spell.
do you
I
have
can
any-
just fucking
yeah.
check. Yeah. It is 1d4.
Got Jackson on the screen this whole time. So it's just looking at
I literally only just got like I'm 1.
Oh man.
We're all
That is
good.
gonna do it.
That is amazing, and I get to roll 4d6
Jesus.
of flesh ward, I believe.
You wouldn't be
Yep, it
metagaming
is,
because
it
you
is.
know
It
Chaz
is
is in the
46.
back seat, would you?
No, this is because I'm metagaming because I'm in a car that I'm about to crash.
Chaz
Yeah.
can get through 4d6. He's got a shotgun that deals 4d6.
I'm hoping he's not trying to kill my character because that would be very rude.
The man is not
away.
himself. Go ahead and roll 4d6 out.
13.
Okay. Nice. So I guess as we flash back to earlier this morning when they tell you when Chaz is placing the call upstairs, you're going to weave your magic. Why is it that Sebastian has chosen to buff himself and none of his friends?
Katie's already buffed. Joe isn't nearby. Katie's buffed and I can't buff her again until it runs out. Chaz has indicated that he doesn't give a shit about this stuff and he's been real kind of mad, and also I'm kind of
true.
still trying to teach him a lesson. I think Joe wasn't around to ask, and or
Joe was
wasn't-
downstairs listening in on the call.
And Joe definitely gives off the impression that she is fucking invincible. Like, you saw her get shot at point blank range in the library, and literally just.
I think it's one of those things where Seb goes, can I offer this in a way that is not going to immediately make it that he's suggesting that Joe doesn't have all of her shit together, and I don't think that's something I should be suggesting right now. No, there isn't. Never mind.
Okay. All right. So back in the McLaren farmhouse, you weave your occult circles, still on the treading the line between science and magic. Still not sure what you truly believe. But now, as we flash back into the present, as the car goes hammering along, slides off the road and slams into the trees, you know the reality of your situation. You know there is magic. You know the world is so much more, and there is something horrible chasing you. You go off the side and slam into one of the trees. The car is going to take a D6 to its build. Do you want to go ahead and roll that out?
Sure.
Ooh.
6.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Bye, Chaz.
I can't imagine that's good. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna kind of wing it. Car's done. That's for one thing. The car goes off and just slams into a tree. Sebastian, you are thrown through the glass and across into the trees beyond. Chaz, can you go ahead and give me a strength roll to try and see how well you can hold on and see if you can mitigate some of this?
I was hoping
But you are
would
also
ask.
100% being thrown free. There we go. Got that on you.
Always big.
Always big.
Large man.
It's still gonna hurt. Okay.
Oh.
So cars exploded. This is a major thing. Let me see if I can get it up. Because my instinct is 2d10. Car at full
What?
speed into the woods. And you'll both get a jump maybe to try and reduce that slightly as you go slamming
Dodge?
through it.
Dodge or dodge?
Not dodge. There's nothing to
Fair
evade.
enough.
It's can you not get slammed by it?
I vote go with your instinct. This seems
I'm going with
lethal.
I agree. I think it is lethal. Both of you make jump rolls to see if you can reduce this somewhat. As I see if I can find an example.
Oh, yeah.
As if you had to ask. Well, this is fine. Chaz is, the peak of athleticism at, absorbing this damage and getting around it. And
I agree. And
Seb's
also
got
you
his
held
magic
on well.
bullshit.
Okay.
So this is
So-
fine.
What happens is as the car
I
goes
will-
skidding across and slams into one
I'll
of the
spend
trees.
luck to succeed on that one, by the way.
Okay.
Just because that seems like a sensible thing to do.
23.
Yeah.
So
Good gravy.
I have 82.
All right.
You want to get into
the
a fight with
car-
someone with that much luck?
He's across
odds.
and slams into one of the trees. Sebastian is just thrown straight through the glass and across onto the through the underbrush. Chaz holding on amazingly, just gripping the steel tight enough it begins to buckle under his meaty paws. Will get tossed as well, but holds on for long enough to reduce it and not take anything else for being on the outside of a car. With both succeeding, you are both going to take a D10 of damage regardless. Go ahead and roll those,
What?
and let's see how things resolve.
1 point of armor.
Yep, you will reduce it by 1. Okay, Seb, so eat that into your... what is your... is that a major for you?
Exactly a major wound for me.
Holy shit. Go ahead and make a constitution roll then, please, Chaz.
Oh, still going.
Okay. The car slams into a tree. Both are flung free, and Sebastian topples across the ground, rolling. When you stand, the magical like the scabs and like the the extra flesh padded onto you has like sloughed off, and you can see like tears underneath it where it's beginning to reveal your original skin. Chaz stumbles as well. Both of you succeed the roll, so you avoid some of the larger and spikier looking things. And we now go to Chaz's turn.
About bloody time.
Will you reveal what your ideology is?
Well, yeah, 10 points. Rolled a d10 for rounds, and I rolled quite a high number. Made me mad for a while.
Yay.
I'm gonna scan the area, scan the car, scan Seb if I can see him.
You can see him. Yep.
Any and all tomes that might have been brought.
Seb?
I don't have any times on me.
You don't bring in tomes with you? You don't carry around?
No,
All right. What's the
No
nearest
times.
magical
But
looking thing
would
I can see?
There would be the cane,
what I
and
thought.
there would be the electrical node, the zap gun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the cultiest looking thing I can and start
I
smashing
would
it.
probably actually I would have the knife on me because we went in a hurry, so that is also there.
Urgh.
And that is absolutely out of, well, it's up to you,
Choices,
but there is
choices.
a full-on sacrificial knife that is like, probably flung off from.
Okay, so I'll show. And so as Seb gets thrown clear and lands in the ground, skittering from like inside the pocket comes the this like warped piece of metal. It's the same device that was used by the Migo to attack your allies and incapacitate themselves. It tumbles into the earth. Back in the car, left it across the seat, and now sort of like half out the window is the cane. Which has, that eagle pommel, and you can see the scratchings where Seb himself has begun to turn to magic and to try and take some control over the mythos. And finally, secured in a bag or something, but visible, and you saw it when Katie withdrew it, is that black horn, like almost dull knife with a bone pommel. Probably the least visible of them, as it hasn't been used or referenced too much so far.
I've got 2 hands, Dave. Can
Yeah.
I grab the knife and the cane?
Sure. Okay.
All right.
You like smash through the window and wrench them both forth. What are you doing with them?
I'm staunchly following my ideology and belief, which is mankind can do fine without religion. But as far as I'm concerned, we can do fine without this magical bullshit.
Yeah.
It's what got us
Hell
into
yes.
this mess, and it's not going to get us out.
I think there's a good chance that the magic-powered items resist your attempts to break them, considering they're tough and strong, but
Nah,
go
we'll
wild
see.
and try.
I'm going to attempt to snap the cane, and failing that, toss it headlong into the woods,
Okay.
into the darkness where it cannot be found.
I imagine you're a mechanical repair. You understand leverage things. I imagine you like drive it into the spokes of the wheel and then wrench backwards until you can begin to feel the wood splintering. Now it is magically reinforced. The Elder Sign has been carved into it along the pommel, but that does not make these things necessarily unbreakable. And this was, although carved by one with great potential, done by an amateur wizard and one only beginning to turn to the mythos arts. Chaz, make a strength roll.
I just saw Art's face, and I feel bad. I'm sorry.
I am furious at you. Like, do expect that I will try and kill your character now. You are taking away. No, I'm making this clear.
Oh, dear.
Seb can't walk without
Yeah.
his cane. You
That
are
is true.
destroying a mobility aid, is what you're doing, as well as magic.
Put some
which is
magic
fair.
shit in there.
It's actually not magic.
Do you want to
it's
how about
defensive.
this? Let's change it. What
Yeah.
if you like run on it and you are going to attempt to completely destroy all the markings on it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm about taking the magic out. But if I
Because that
fail
was
to
more
do
the
that,
intent.
it's going into the woods.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeet.
All right.
Okay, so in that
Great.
case, rather than that, you put it underneath the car's hood and slam it back down with more, so it like buckles across it, and then you're gonna try and wrench it, effectively like grating off the carvings enough to stop it from being used, or at least
Still strength?
Yeah, still strength, I think.
Bam! Oh, just regular success.
I think a regular is probably not going to be enough to do any lasting. You scratch them, you weaken them, and I would say probably a penalty dice possibly for using this for the foreseeable. But this is not a permanent destruction. As you wrench it forth, you can see that. I mean, that should have like splintered it and begun to shred it to pieces. It still seems to be fairly together. Do you want to go ahead with Plan B?
Yep.
Okay. You turn around and begin to wrench it into the woods when Seb stands to his feet and will take their action on the next turn. So you're about to chuck it when we will leave you there. We go now back to Katie.
Invite. Oh, hello. Yes, that's me.
So, Katie, you are in the woods. You can see Joe get grabbed. You watch the other soldier drop his weapon and begin to flee across, running as fast as he can. What do you want to do?
Same
Joe is
principle.
being like held, like writhing in this thing's grip and seems to be almost incapable of wrenching herself free.
Same principle. I'm just got to try and get. I want to leave, but can't leave Joe. Can I pull out my gun? And I would like to just try and start firing into the mass, not even caring, like making multiple shots. But I'm not trying to deal damage. I'm just trying to like give Joe the capacity to be able to pull herself free. Like maybe I'm sort of hitting things and making it shield itself just for a second, so that I'm trying to apply a bonus die to a fighting brawl maneuver that Joe might make.
I dig it. So before you roll, as you come out and you pull like the little pistol you've had holstered underneath and cock back the hammer, you can hit this shot. No worries. It's easy. This thing is massive. You've never seen it shield itself before. It seems to be completely. It takes some minor damage. It seems to almost completely disregard the bullets. Additionally, I'm flagging, with the strength this creature has, Joe is unable to leave. She cannot beat
Pull
it.
myself up.
As long as she is held, she cannot defeat its strength. You are looking at something more like trying to sever the arm or something that's holding her, or drive a car into it. These things are massive. And if you rush forward, it has more than enough tentacles to grab you as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think that I might.
Is there a grenade on the ground?
Yeah.
I got 'em both.
Well, Joe,
Joe has them
there's a chance that one might have fallen loose, or I mean, Joe, as you're writhing, what is the grenade? What you were going for when you were holding Jason?
Probably. I think I only had my shotgun, my sawn-off, and my grenade, so I probably would have been going for a grenade.
I think it's more interesting if there's a grenade in the scene. When in doubt, add explosives. Yeah, I mean, you'll spot a small ceramic sphere in the mud as rain begins to hammer down around you, clouds overhead, thick leaves. You're standing there holding the gun as Joe twists and writhes, weakly screaming.
I think then I aim with the gun futilely, realize that this is nothing and I can't do anything. I put the gun down, I grab at this thing, and I will intend to throw it, and I will say, I will yell, Joe the grenades, and I think that our eyes probably meet for a second, because I'm
still
kind of
mad.
guessing that Joe might just pull a grenade and then go into death. So if there's a moment where our eyes lock for a last glance, but for what it's worth, I do try to throw this grenade to get Joe free.
Okay,
Blast the tentacle away.
go ahead and make is a throw roll.
Yep, I'm not great at this.
I'm great at this.
You know what?
You got
Do you have
17
it?
points though.
I don't
It's
think
a
I
lot.
do. I don't think I do have 17 points of luck, sadly. But that said, I was kind of casual. Sorry about that. I was kind of casual about how I calculated my luck. I erred on the side of down because I couldn't do the maths.
And if
So
you,
let me
if you
just
have the
redo
three,
it
you'll want it.
quickly. Yeah.
So
let me just.
you go to raise the gun. You possibly even fire a couple shots into it. You see it does no effect, so you stumble through the rain and find this muddy sphere. Wrenching the pin forth from it, you hear like a click, and then you reach back and begin to throw it, but your hands are slick. And if you stick this, it doesn't go far enough and will land about midway between the two, possibly exploding and just damaging almost everything around it, and you will very much be caught in the blast. Play with explosives.
Oh, as in if I push this, or just a regular?
No, that's failing. That's just failing.
Oh, okay.
It's a grenade.
You've chucked a grenade. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
Pulled.
fair enough.
Yeet.
Okay. Yeah. I do not think I have the. I do not think I have the luck for this. In which, sorry, I do fail. It will land in between.
Cool. Okay. You toss it. It arcs through the sky and lands tumbling in the mud. You have just a moment to throw yourself backwards. I would say you could do the. You can make a dodge, but like take your action from the next scene if you wish. Katie,
Sure.
like to throw yourself out of the way if you want to. Otherwise, at this range, it's not as lethal. Jackson, you have all the grenades plugged in, right? Do you have the mid range?
Yes, indeed. If you are within
how much is-
3 yards of a grenade, you're going to take 4d10 damage. 6 yards, 2d10. 9 yards, 1d10.
Okay. I think we are going. You know what? It's either mid or long. Actually,
That's
that would
pretty
be
close.
the.
Like that's 1 meter. That's 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's really
That's-
close. Actually, in
pretty
fact,
close.
I agree. You're right. It's got to be. I think it's the long range. I think it's the long. So it's gonna be a D10. Katie, you can make a. Katie, what's your strength?
60.
Fifth of that is 12. You can only throw it 12 yards. So I think middle. Yeah,
You can throw
it'll be
your
the
strength
midway.
in feet, I believe.
I've got in my one. It says it's a fifth of your feet. It's fifth of your strength in yards.
Okay.
Katie, go ahead and make a dodge roll as you see it and try and throw yourself out of the way. Okay.
Success.
You're able to like hit the ground on the other side, and as the explosion sends shrapnel everywhere, peppering that one car still there. It flies over your head. A couple of minor lacerated wounds, but nothing significant. Joe, from where you're held, and we now go to your turn. You are being held aloft by this thing. You can feel it pulsing, literally stripping the muscles from your mass. There's an explosion, and fire and shrapnel slams into this thing with minimal effect, unfortunately. And as it's held there, you can just continue to writhe. Your vision has gone white. You can barely feel the rain beginning to splinter down around you. You are going to lose a D10 plus 5 strength.
Oh my god.
That's cool.
That is 15 strength.
Oh,
As your mass is stripped away, and you can do nothing but writhe as you lash back and forth. What is, and also unfortunately, the cruelest thing, you will be
I'm not crazy
sane
anymore.
for every final moment as you realize what is happening.
As clarity is going to come back to Joe in this moment, as she can feel her hard-won strength kind of fading away, and she does kind of lock eyes with Katie for a minute as her head kind of rolls back and realizes the grenade's been thrown, and she just goes, oh, and takes out the other grenade, pulls the pin, and this is a tree, right? So there's a point where the like trunk, the main bit is meeting the branch that's holding her, I guess. Yeah. And
There's
she's
a
gonna
number
count,
of like open knots,
Yeah,
large moors
yeah.
and things.
and she's gonna pull the pin, and count 1, 2, and lob it into one of the knots as close to her as possible.
Oh god.
Hell
Like-
yes.
Basically, the shot that is not gonna like the easiest shot.
100%. So, no throw roll needed, but as you're basically having your strength drained away, spasms of pain, agony, your vision clouded and turning to white, fingers feebly trying to feel along for weaknesses while the other reaches into your pocket to find the other grenade. Can you give me I think almost dexterity to manage to like squeeze it up along, and this will just be to vary the levels of success.
Oh yeah.
And you know what?
Okay.
This is the end of days for Joe, so can I just burn some luck and
Only 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Joe doesn't have
Make
a
it a
ton of
crit.
luck.
Well, you can't luck a crit.
No.
I think we've established you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Although, perhaps house rule for this one.
Sometimes we do whatever.
That's when you're about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
break the
there you
rules.
go. Yeah.
Introduce a couple of
That's
public
good.
games. Okay, that brings it to extreme. Did you have enough to? You know what? Yeah. With extreme, you're able to do exactly as you said. Pull it feebly, count down. 1, 2, 3. And then as it like re-latches, you plunge it down into one of the moors. You can feel your hand is inside this thing now, and the teeth clamp down around it, and it whirls back, basically degloving your forearm and back towards the hand as like muscle and skin as you try and wrench it out. But you can feel the grenade continue to explode. It's closed around it, and suddenly there is a boom from inside. Your arm, where it was held inside the moor, is completely exploded, splintering to bone and muscle. But the interior might just be enough to let it drop for just a moment. Go ahead and roll the damage. 4d10.
Ooh, what was that going to be?
4d10.
4d10, you love
4d10
Also-
for it inside.
Just out of interest, these are trees, yeah?
Yeah.
It's
How
now.
do they like fire?
Ooh, good point.
They actually seem they're not actually trees. They're they can kind of pass as trees. They actually seem to not really give that much of a shit about fire amongst all relatively.
Oh god, 24 damage.
I feel
24
like they're
is
like
pretty
muscled
good.
like black mass and stuff. 24 is
Also, would they get a shitload of armor given that it's inside them?
No armor at all.
Yeah, no, this is
nothing. 0.
And
that
it's been shot
24?
a bit, and I got hit by the car.
I need to screen grab.
They have 24 hit points, don't they?
No, they have more, but I have been tracking the random shots that have been applied to it, and it has 24 health.
Oh shit!
Now, as
Oh my
written,
God.
these do not care about explosives and things, but this is this is a grenade plunged into its mouth by a dying woman. I think that fucking goes through. So, there's an explosion inside, and Katie, you see the thing suddenly
God.
like bulge with shrapnel, and it screams out as Joe is flung into the distance, and you don't see where she lands. I mean, she just gets chucked through trees and crashes down to the ground. It it arcs backwards, and the more that exploded, that arm like cuts open, and you can see like it begins like splinter down as the whole root system, or not root system, like it just gapes, ripped apart, like skin exposed. It tumbles backwards, lands to the ground, and begins to just thrash in agony, almost as if it's looking up towards the clouds in its sky as the occasional tentacle reaches upwards and then smashes down through the cars and around. Whatever is happening to this thing, you don't know if it will die immediately or if it will flail for a little longer, but Joe has been chucked free, and we are going to leave her there for the moment to see just how much damage she's taken and if there's any chance she's still standing. The soldier has dicked off. Jason is conscious. We go back to the other developing scene. Our helicopters are overhead, and look at this on the ground. We seem to have a confrontation. Seb, it is your turn. Chaz has tried to drag the cane through and
I
is
wouldn't
now
have
reaching
seen
back
that.
and moving to chuck it into the middle distance. It is your turn.
I'm assuming that
Far
the
distance.
electrical gun that I had would have, because I might have put it back in my pocket, but regardless, I'm gonna narratively can it have like skidded free
Oh, yeah,
and be
no,
within like
100%.
relative easy grabbing distance.
As I described it, you were flung through it, and it just skidded just near you. So yeah, 100%, it's just there.
Great. I grab that. I look for my cane, looking for something because I need to
Pull yourself up.
pull myself up with it. I do not immediately see it next to me. I do not turn back. I run. I continue to flee for 10 rounds. Oh, I am out.
Oh my god.
I also rolled 10, so
Okay.
I will flee. I will flee,
Hell
and
yeah.
trust me when I say there will be sane repercussions for this entire thing, but right now it's not now. I grab
Okay,
it and I
your turn.
run. I run.
You stumble and begin to run as quick as you can, like just smashing through trees and things, stumbling occasionally, sliding down embankments, and soon becoming lost out here in the dark expanse of woods. You bolt. We go now to Chaz.
And I spend my whole round bolting.
Without anyone to stop me, I'm spending 8 rounds destroying or flinging all of the magical shit I can find in this car.
Okay.
So that's the cane. That's the knife. That's the you had the electric gun. You had the zapper gun.
Nope, that's on me.
The
Bye.
zapper guns with Seb. Yeah, this is you aren't necessarily under pressure, and you are completely swallowed by madness at the moment. Where does this stem from? Is one thing I want to know as well. This was a backstory element that we've taken in hand. So it was one that got some screen time and things. Where does this come from? Is this a religious thing, or no God but the one true God?
It's the fact that being working class, being brought up in the steel mill where your all of your value was placed on the strength of your arm. Chaz feels like no one's given him and his family anything. They've built it all themselves. So you can't see any evidence of any kind of higher power that's leaning down and helping the little guy. It's up to us. And he was fooled into placing any kind of faith in the mythos, in so much as you can use some parts of the mythos to defend yourself from other parts of the mythos. And he realized that was a foolish thing to do. It was a fool's errand. In this bout of madness, he's decided the only thing that's going to get us out of this mess is strength of arm. So he's going to use his arm to destroy what he can.
Okay. You begin to you can smash it, you can chuck it, you could bury it, you could put them into the car and try and get the engine. There's gasoline in the vehicle. You could burn them. And without basically uncontested.
I want to do them all at once. Can't decide. I've got too many options. No, I don't think Chaz is a planny kind of guy. I think he's going to gather them all, scrape them up, bend them as much as he can, and then close his eyes, run around the direction, spin around 3 times in a circle with his eyes closed, fling him, and then choose another direction. Fling the cane, choose another direction. Spin around 3 times with his eyes closed. Run a few meters in the other direction. Stop. Spin around with his eyes closed. Fling. What else did I have? The knife in the round direction.
Goat knife,
yeah.
Okay. By the time you throw them, the cane has been pretty dinged up and scratched. You've basically carved through a lot of the markings, but the core one, a star with sort of like an eye emblazoned in the center, seems to be almost impossible for you to damage. You spend a while slamming it into the ground, and this means that basically the head of Sebastian's cane can't really be destroyed no matter what you try and do, but the actual the black length of it has begun to splinter when you chuck it. The knife seems to be pretty much impervious to anything short of maybe driving a truck over it or something. You try and bang it, and it's sort of like smaller and knobbier. You can't really get the leverage, and eventually you settle for chucking it off and into the woods before turning to something else. So that's gonna be kind of Seb and Chaz for the foreseeable little beat or so.
It's true.
We go back to the site of the other disaster, and Katie. As you look around, you threw yourself down. You heard an explosion. That just you were heading up, you heard another boom roar, and now the screams of a dying Dark Young. When you look up, rain's hammering down around you. The thing's still thrashing slightly. There's no immediate sign of Joe, but you can see a couple of broken branches in an arc where she may have been thrown. The car has
there might be a lot of
embedded
blood
against the tree.
Oh.
The car's been embedded against the tree, and almost completely destroyed, although you don't know about the engine. And your ears are still ringing with the explosion as the storm begins to fall around you, thick droplets of rain. What are you doing?
I'm going to yell, Joe, and sprint out and try and find her.
Okay. Begin to yell and hunt, looking for her. Can you give me I could see listen? I could see survival at track rather than survival.
Not a spot hidden?
Not spot hidden. She's
okay. I will go with a survival.
Well, as the rain begins to fall, it's going to be hard to see Joe amongst all the
Actually,
other puddles.
I've got 2 points higher on listen, so I can start going.
Amorphous puddles of liquid.
I'm running through and I can't find anything in the rain.
Okay. You're trying to listen out for anything, hoping that she's still alive as you continue to hunt. And we go back to the top with Joe. So,
All right.
you did. Your arm was very much in.
It's gone. There is no
the
arm.
thing with it. It's gone 100%. Can you go ahead
We have
and
fun injuries
take?
and scars note.
The arm is gone. You have also lost
Correct.
15 strength. It was
Correct.
degloved and stripped, and it is now just a bonus. And then you were chucked through the trees.
I feel like the arm is gone because it was holding a grenade that exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
100%. You got
I
some-
don't think there is an arm.
Pieces, maybe.
like,
Can you go
yeah.
ahead and roll the often absent but much beloved D12? D10 for the grenade, and we'll add an
Oh
extra
my God.
D2-ish for the chuck.
Okay. D1, D12.
Yep, 1D12.
What?
Yes, Joe.
What?
The arm is gone regardless.
Yeah. Sick.
What?
So, you get
Cauterization.
chucked
Yeah.
and limited. You are. What we're gonna say though.
Like, not
Would I not have
perfectly,
taken that? Would I not have taken that full? Oh no, I probably wouldn't have taken the full grenade damage because it would have been
Yeah,
absorbed
you
by
know,
the
I
internals
agree.
of the.
Wait, how much would the creature reduce that damage by?
Yeah.
If
I mean,
if
it took the full brunt.
no, I mean,
And
if
it
the
took my
grenade had
arm.
come from the outside. 0?
Donuts. Donuts.
Well, in that
It's
case,
it's immune to explosives.
I like what I was thinking is if it's immune to explosives, then because it was on the inside,
It's only the
Yeah.
internal.
Joe was between, like, Joe got its defense.
Yeah.
I
Would I
agree,
not have
I agree.
benefited from? Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
What do you think?
I mean,
I
with
thought
the
she
D12,
was dead.
With the
I
D12, there was
definitely
a
would.
chance
I
I'm
agree.
definitely taking a
so-
shitload of damage. I'm definitely taking a shitload of
100%.
damage.
100%. 100%.
That's it.
that-
You
that-
did
there's
roll
the
really well on a
grenade.
shitload of damage.
There's
Yeah,
the
actually,
grenade, the arm flying through the air and hitting the ground. Those three things, really.
We would like you not to die, though. Like, it's fine if you
I
want
agree.
one
I
hit
agree.
point.
But we want a couple. We want a couple of rolls.
She dies.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's. I tell you what. Take the 4, and also. So first of all, reduce. We're gonna say reduce your hit points to half. So that was
Yes.
just the exposure, and you were gonna make a con roll, and then take the 4, then take the 4 on top of that, because this is like you
Okay.
said, it's significant, and that was just me. That was just a bad ruling. It shouldn't be the D12. It doesn't
Yeah.
narratively work if it's a 1
So
or something.
reduce hit points to half,
and then the 4.
and then
I
the
will
four.
admit, I am looking at your character sheet to make sure it's not going to completely gank you. And then can you make a Constitution roll to see if you can stay? And then so there's major wounds, and it is a Constitution roll. Okay. You get flung through the air, slamming through pieces, and land in a heap in the ground. Katie is trying to look for you, but you are unconscious.
she doesn't
and cannot
find
see
you.
her. And if she does not find you, that was last round. So this is your first Constitution roll. Trying to go from the last one, but that's fine. Katie's going to get 1 round to try and find you, basically, wherever you are. As rain falls
You're not on
around
0
you.
health though, so you're not dying.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
If you don't
Major
find her,
wounds.
If you're unconscious with a major wound, as long as you're not on 0 health, you're not dying.
You're just unconscious.
Yeah, but I am going to have to make another.
Yeah, it's only on
Yes,
0.
that's
you
right.
start
Yes,
bleeding
that's
out
right.
and
Sorry,
die.
that's just to go into conscious. Yes, you are right. Of course, we're probably bleeding out and missing arm and things, so we'll make it a bit more
lost an
serious.
arm.
But
It's-
yes, you are right. You are right, Jim. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay. So next up is going to be we'll catch up with Seb and Chaz briefly. We'll resolve this first. Next up is Katie. As you continue to hunt.
I
for her.
intend to just keep searching at this until I find Joe. So I sprint through. I keep looking. Do you want me to make another check, or do you want to just? Or do you
Yes.
want to,
Yes.
Cool. All right.
Yes. Do you want to roll? I think spotting applies at this point. If you'd like to roll that.
Success.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So you're first trying to track her through, hoping to listen for her, but not hearing anything over the rain and the dying screams of the dark young. You can't make anything out, and then like going back out to the trail, you begin to just go back through your basics. You know, you're a You're a mathematician. You're a smart kid. You should be able to figure out approximately where it went. And you swing around looking at the branches and things, figuring out the approximate, and then taking off in one of the directions, hoping that your gamble was right. You break through a couple of trees and then find in a small Joe-created clearing amongst the brush is Josephine. She has landed poorly. It looks as though she's sprained. Her shirt has a massive tear in it, and you can see a wet sucking wound where it looks as though her muscle and stomach has been jellified and turned to liquid. It's sort of like almost spongy, beginning to actually like leak out as if like a protruded cyst. Then her arm is gone. It's like pushed around the side, and you can see that everything beyond the forearm is evaporated, with a couple of like long like knots of flesh and maybe a couple of stumps of bones and things. She is unmoving and in very, very poor condition.
I can't make a medicine check here because I don't have the equipment, and sadly I'm way better at medicine than first aid. That said, I run over to her, I try to talk to her, she's not responding. I do what I can to stabilize her, and then through the rain, through the woods, through the storm, I will pick her up and start to trudge off in the direction of the car and hope I can find her.
You'll need to make a first aid roll. She is continuing to bleed, and if this is not dealt with, there is a very serious risk of death.
Here's the first aid.
Do you just do it here in the... okay.
Yeah, fail, unfortunately.
Okay.
Nothing I can do, really. I mean, I'll just pick her up and start trying to move towards somewhere I can try and do a medicine check is my only other option.
Okay. The first
At least I'm
attempt
a
you
bit
should
lighter without my arm and half my organs.
Exactly. Yeah. Lost a lot of blood.
Lost a lot. Lost a lot.
You get like an improvised tourniquet around it or something, enough to stop a bit of the bleeding and begin to lift her up. Is Joe muttering anything faintly under her breath that we can hear, or just limp, unmoving?
No, I think she's just limp. And you can probably see her eyes moving under, like she's almost like she's dreaming, I guess. But yeah, no words.
You lift her up and carry her to the car. In the back, exploded glass, but enough to sort of lay her down on it and take another look again. Joe, can you give me another Constitution roll?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, hot success.
Still there. You'll have another chance to try and put things to rights. This is Jim, less the first aid to try and heal it, so much as to stop. She is beginning to slip towards dying, so you can go ahead and roll once more.
In which case, I talked about how I had a medical kit. With laid out. Can I use my medicine skill? Not necessarily to heal, but just to try and save here.
100%.
All right. Oh dear. All right, here we go. That I have enough luck for that. I like it. I have exactly enough luck for that. I have on the money 14 luck, which is exactly what I need.
Okay.
I will go to 0 luck. There we go. I was just off by 1 or 2 points a few times, not this time.
You're able to tie it off, and in the sort of pouring rain outside, you look down at Joe, and she begins to very faintly breathe. She needs medical attention, urgently, but you don't even know where you can take her, that she can receive it. You should like get into the car and close the door behind you, and just take a moment to breathe. The others are gone. You don't know where. The thing is dead for the moment, and possibly the deputy is killed. But other actions are taking place all throughout Cobb's Corners, and you're not the only people moving on this night. We'll leave the two of you there, and we'll leave you there for the remainder of the session as we go back to check in on Seb and Chaz as each of their madness fades. And they get a chance to look at their surroundings. Seb, let's do you first. Mm-hmm. Where are you when you begin to...
we still look a bit mad, Dave.
Yeah, I'm fading one at a time. We'll do very good stuff.
Sorry, I was complaining.
It's all right.
I would be as far down the road, trying to get away from whatever just happened as I come to. I don't know where I am. Well, I think I would have still been trying to follow the road as much as possible, because while I am mad, fleeing is still something you need to like do in a direction. So I would have tried to do that. but when it fades, I realize I'm, struggling to walk and struggling to kind of find anything. Don't know where anyone else is, although I did know Chaz was back at the car, so I think the only... Unless I know where I am in relation to the farmhouse, I would head to the farmhouse if I know where that is. If not, I would head back to where I last saw people.
Okay. So we'll do a navigation roll, but we'll do that the next session to figure out where you are and how you can get back. The consuming fear that gripped you throughout that fight has faded, but there's still a thundering of these things are out there moving. And as you begin to look around, you are deep in the dark woods, and occasionally you hear branches break or something, and overhead occasionally thunder rolls in the skies.
I absolutely go for, in the moment where I have clarity, I go to try and find my cane, knowing that it is the thing that will protect me, because that is what is purpose. And I do not find it. And maybe in the back of my head, I realize, I have that, when I went to grab something, I saw Chaz trying to destroy it. You think Seb was Machiavellian before? If that cane is not recovered, it is not going to be Chaz he destroys.
Do you sell for do you get a stick or something as you begin to make your way,
yeah,
or is it
I'll find
holding
something
on to
help me move more easily? But I think part of the indefinite madness is there is fear, and sometimes when people are afraid, they shirk away from things or they hide away. Seb's fear is a boiling fury at the world for making him feel weak and powerless, and unfortunately that is absolutely going to get directed at people and things and situations. So I don't know if that's something that indefinite madness can be, but I think unbridled resentment, fury, and rage with very little to stop him when he gets worked up sounds good to me.
Hell yeah. Okay. Seb finds a stick, looks around, and then begins to find his way back to the others, back to the farmhouse, or back to wherever is closest. Let's check in on Chaz. You've just finished throwing the goat's horn into the distance, and you're taking a moment to recover. The zealotry begins to fade, and you're standing by the car in the rain. Last you saw Sebastian, he was heading off north into the woods, and you are aware that without his cane,
I'm not familiar. I just spent 5 minutes spinning around in circles.
Spinning in circles. You're a bit dizzy.
I don't know where I am or which way I'm facing.
How are you feeling as you come out of it?
Well, immediately start justifying it to myself. Yeah, no, you stop and think about it for a bit, catch your breath. That wasn't unreasonable, this mythos and bullshit got us into this mess, so it was probably the right call. Chaz is not going to allow himself to think here.
Very immovable object, unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Do you head off in pursuit of where Sebastian went? Do you stay by the car, or do you plan to go back and try and rejoin with Katie and the others, who possibly, to all you know, are still in grave danger from when you fled?
Yeah, all I can do... It's I could go after Seb, I could go to the car, I could go to the farmhouse, but I have as much chance of doing any of those things by picking a random direction and seeing what I find first. That's what I gotta do. Chaz does not have any faith in his tracking survival abilities, so he'll just pick a direction and hope he runs into a road.
Okay, all right. So with Chaz and Sebastian stumbling blindly through the woods, with Katie huddled in the back of the car with Joe on death's door, missing an arm, but with a slain Dark Young and the dead deputy, the other side was not without its casualties. That is where we will park this session.
God.
We picked up next week.
Okay.
Explosive, literally.
Holy shit.
I think we did very well.
John's
Very well,
alive.
very
I
well.
was
can't
not
believe
expecting that.
we didn't
I
all
was.
just immediately wipe. I thought
Amazing.
when we were running before the Dark Young came out, I was like, oh, we might get away from this pretty unscathed. And then no.
No.
Yeah. It went both ways. As soon as I got a
Upside.
chance to grab him.
I'm not sitting on that sanity bomb anymore.
Yeah.
Very
so now I'm
true.
done.
Permanently insane.
Oh no.
So we will pick all of this up next week. This night is far from over. The moon is still high, and elsewhere actions are taking place. But all of that will remain to be seen for the next week. Thank you all for playing, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next week for more disaster and madness.
This feels
and
like an
maybe a little
award-winning
death.
stream. I don't know about
This
all
feels
you.
like an award-winning
Like
stream.
award-winning
It's nice to be an
stream.
award-winning stream.
It's nice.
Instead of taking it for real. All right, we'll see you all next week.